Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, August 29th. You're on Clean Greens Radio with your co-host, me. And Breon's not here today. She had a little mishap with the bees. We want to start us off with our land acknowledgement. Sorry. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Coast Salish past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish, Suquamish, Nisqually, Snoqualmie, and Muckleshoot tribes. We also acknowledge what has happened on this land to impact the lives of the Black community in Seattle due to redlining, the systemic and oppressive mechanism of anti-Black racism enacted by the white leaders, politicians, business people, and others rob Black families of the opportunity to build and pass down generational wealth. To share your own story of home or land loss in the central area of Seattle, please contact us here at Clean Greens on behalf of the Black Dollar Days Task Force, King County Reparations Project. That's www.blackdollardays.taskforce.org or cleangreensfarmmarket.com. You can email or call us. Thank you. Yeah, we want to I think it's okay to say what happened to Breon, why my co-host is not here with us today. She got stung by a bee in on the eye, and I just automatically assumed it was dealing with our bees, and I was like, are you being super bold and not wearing a suit now? And she was like, no, it wasn't our bees, it was at a game or something. I was like,
wow,
yeah, that's a huge coincidence. So hopefully maybe Breon will call or be watching and commenting. So we're having a guest on today. Her name is Faraji, and she'll be joining us in a few minutes. And she is with the organization Yoga Behind Bars. So that is our guest for today. And in the meantime, we are going to kind of focus on talking about healthy meal prep ideas. And that ties into eating seasonally, which we were discussing previously. So if we take our farm box, for example, like if you received a CSA through, oh, I guess I forgot the announcements. If you are interested in signing up, we are still taking signups for CSA. Our harvest is looking very beautiful and promising through the fall, which is when you would stop receiving your weekly box. And yeah, so contact us at Clean Greens if you are interested in the CSA. So say, for instance, you get a beautiful CSA box from Clean Greens, and this is what seasonal, first of all. We're eating seasonal with our CSAs, all grown locally with organic practices. And so your mission is to eat healthy. So you get your weekly CSA box if you're not already growing your own. And you look at the ingredients. Okay, this is what I have for the week. You get your CSA box on Saturday and you're doing your meal prep for work for the week. And so you have a beautiful Swiss rainbow chard. You have heirloom collard greens. You're going to have some beautiful heirloom tomatoes, different varieties. So already I'm thinking something quick and easy. You could do a pasta, depending on your dietary restrictions. If you can do carbs, you can just whip up a vegetarian pasta. You can add a little meat, to give it some flavor. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of meat. And so when you're eating from your box, you're basing your meals on what's seasonally available, what's organic, what's healthy, because you're getting whole foods. So you're creating your meals using these whole food ingredients instead of processed ingredient items. And so, like I said, you can take your greens, which we always, especially in the African American community, we need our dark leafy greens. They are a powerhouse for iron, vitamin K, um, fiber. So we need our dark leafy greens. They lower blood pressure. Um, and so we want to base our meals around uh, fresh produce, and that's how we can and stay healthy. And we want to also keep in our minds that we have to prepare. We have to take the time to stop and prepare to eat healthy, because I think that's like a pitfall for a lot of people. They It's just that preparation. It's what's convenient. So and then we get in this habit. So we're getting in a habit of doing what's convenient, and yeah, it's not healthy. Um and give yourself, I guess, grace. That's what I'm learning a lot from. I think this book that Brian is reading, which basically the premise is stop, pause, calm down, think, you know? So I think I recently read or heard, sorry, I can't think of from where. Um, it was like an article on microaggressions, and one simple solution, I forgot the stats, but it's like if people would just stop and breathe, they are, what, 70 something percent less likely to say something that they regret, or say something inappropriate. They will respond in a totally different manner if we just take pause and, yeah, think for a minute. Um, so we are always in the mindset of trying to slow down. And in today's hustling, bustling world, that is a daily challenge. It is real. Just the ability to be able to slow down. Um, if you're tuning in, you're watching Clean Greens Radio, usually hosted by Queen Bri and me, Christina Chambers. And today we're going to have a guest by the name of Faraji from the organization um, Yoga Behind Bars. They'll be joining us in a few minutes. And we were just discussing healthy meal prep, eating seasonally, eating for health and calm, which your food is totally directly connected to your I guess your being, or like how you hold space. The things that you're putting in your body will come out in different ways. Um, and um, feel free to call in with any ideas or thoughts on how do you prepare your for your diet for the week, or how do you prepare your family's meals. It's really a huge responsibility to be um a caretaker for people, including youth, our children, our, whoever our immediate family is. Um, because you're like, for my children, for example, I'm molding their lifelong eating habits, you know? And so, um, yeah, I haven't always uh, fed them the same way. And in the past, it was largely based on convenience and, um, discipline. And we can't leave that out. Like, it does. It takes discipline, but to stick to certain routines and beliefs, you have to be a disciplined person in itself. I keep joking with my sister that I'm going to have her on the show, but I'm serious. She should be a consultant. I can't get her to start her own business, but um, I'm gonna have her on the show, and I think she should just start freelancing because she's really good. Um, she needs to be doing what she's gifted in and getting paid for her worth. So, yeah, but Rita, that is my sister's name, and she is very wise in the ways of money, and I'm telling you guys, she always has been this way since we were little. Um, she did not wanna play Barbies with me. She, was always in the mode of being an entrepreneur, like making and selling bracelets, candy, and she used to say she was gonna be a store lady, when she got older. That's what she That's the story my dad tells about her, but yeah, she is a whiz. So you guys are gonna be meeting her soon. Um, so I was talking about, like, the responsibility of, um, providing and teaching, a person's diet, especially the children. It's never too late to start again. I think that's also a pitfall for people that they carry the shame or guilt that they, messed up, um, and they don't wanna just pick up and try again, So never, we should I can't say never, but we should strive to, be gentle, a little more gentle with ourselves and give ourselves grace, um, more than of course, more than we give others. We have to start with ourselves, um, and then we are oftentimes, examples or light to other people. Um, so let your life reflect who you are, and yeah, not your words. We are getting close to uh, time to welcome Faraji on. Um, if you're tuning in, my name is Christina Chambers. I'm the co host for Clean Greens Radio on Rainier Avenue Radio. And we are lacking one host today, sadly. Brian is not with us, but she will be back next week. Hopefully, you guys are able to follow and tune in. I am not in no way a radio show host. So this is something very new, but I want to step into my position with this organization. And yeah, so that includes trying new things and you know, new experiences coming out of my shell. So I'm grateful. Um, we're just discussing meal prep ideas, eating seasonally, supporting our CSA, where you would get a weekly uh, farm box of beautiful, organically, sustainably grown produce. And we were just making an example of a pasta dish you could make with your Swiss chard and your collard greens. I imagine, like finely chopped, and some onions, some peppers, simple ingredients. Um, Eating simply, reminding yourself to live more simply, to slow down our diets and the ways that we feed ourselves is totally connected to our lifestyle. Um, and so we have to step back and evaluate ourselves constantly and not fall into the shame or guilt that you tried it before and it didn't work, or you tried something else and it didn't work. So, be relentless in your path to health, I guess. Don't give up on yourself. Um, One second. Nice. Hello, hello. All right, we are back. Thank you for the pause. Um, our guest is here, Faraji, he, him pronouns from behind yoga behind bars.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm just getting situated here because I was in our programming meeting and now I'm doing this interview with you all, and I'm grateful to be present.
Thank you for making the time. You won't meet Brianne today. She got stung by a bee. So I'm hosting by myself, but thank you so much for making the time to come on. And I think my coworker Ajiana introduced us.
They did. They did. And they will be doing some volunteer work with the organization that I do my work through, Yoga Behind and Beyond Bars, because we don't want there to be bars always for their people to do yoga behind. So
Got it. Okay, yes, we want to correct that name. I was saying yoga behind bars, yoga behind and beyond bars. Okay. Can you tell me like how long you've been able to do this work, and how did you get started?
Well, yoga is more than just the asanas, stretching. And often in this hemisphere that we reside in, people like, oh, yoga, I'm not flexible. Right. And I often say, like, I came to yoga as soon as I entered this world with my breath. Our breath travels a lot with us, but it wasn't defined for me. Didn't nobody give me the cultivation of understanding what yoga really was for us as humans. And so through numerous systems of oppression, um, foster care to prison, school to prison pipeline, I found myself in prison being oppressed and dehumanized. And yoga, the mental part, came into my life. Simultaneously, yoga behind bars came in with a bunch of volunteers. And in that place, after numerous of years of incarceration, I got on the mat and was seen and addressed as a human. And that was big for my self-worth and my own trauma. And they were bringing in trauma informed yoga, not just a regular old hot yoga class or yoga class that you go to at your local studio. A yoga session that was honoring my humanity and also very invitational.
What is the difference you're saying between it wasn't just like hot yoga, it was, can you say that again?
Trauma informed.
So what does that look like?
um it was very invitational, like, hey, you don't have to do this. You can lay, if it's not pleasant in your body, then you can back out, and we're not going to be offended or anything if you're doing your own sequence of moves or you're just laying and breathing. It's like, that's a big thing, to have your autonomy and your agency, right? And then also honoring my humanity, like addressing me as a human, seeing the human characteristics and quality in me. And as I grew by consistently showing up for classes,
Mm.
like, the system doesn't do that for you. So fast forward 2021, 7, 8 years into my own personal yoga practice, being at different facilities that had the program Yoga Behind Bars, and still receiving the same kind of care, even though it was different volunteers. I got out. YBB invested in getting me trauma informed trained and paid for my yoga teacher training certification. And I became a board member. And I was like, this isn't it. Like, I did 14 years in prison. I don't got no money, and I'm black, and I'm in America, and I have uh multiple felonies. Like, and I don't want to do no labor. I might look young, but I have 2 granddaughters now, so I'm not as young as I look, and I don't want to do no labor. And so an opportunity to start going into the juvenile facilities came up, and I started doing contract work with YBB. And then I spoke for a job and said, look, the best person to engage the community is me. And y'all
Mhm.
need to pay me for this. I have so much value. I'm a value adder. The Bhakti tribe, the tribe that I'm starting with my family and my community, we're value adders.
Mm.
And it's been up since then. It's been all the way up. And now we're engaging new volunteers, like one of your coworkers, where we have people come in that look like our students. And if you know the system of oppression, who's disproportionately in there?
Wow.
Black and
Yeah.
brown people.
Mm.
Concise version. There's a whole bunch more. I'm a poet. I'm many things. I'm a grandfather and a grandson. I'm a poet. I'm a Black Prisoner Caucus member. That's this chain. I don't know who's all watching this, but you see somebody wearing this chain, you can guarantee that they're a Black Prisoner Caucus community group member. We are fighting for liberation of all our people, and our three main emphasis is ARC. A, for amplifying the voice of the incarcerated, because these people are still your community. They may have been gone for a long time, over a short time, but they're coming back. Do you want them to come back with the R? Reintegrating, not re-entering into anything that they were already a part of before they went.
Mhm.
They're not formally incarcerated. We are not system impacted. We are liberated individuals. We coined that name. We were at the table when it was reentry councils or reentry this. No, we're reintegrating. One. Two, we are liberated individuals. We weren't at the table when you decided to call us system impacted, formerly incarcerated, or any of that. And so the R is reintegration and resource support, because people need help. If you've been gone for a long time, digital divide is a real thing.
Mm.
And then the C, court and community support. We have got over 25 individuals out of prison with life sentences or long times attached to the sentence where they would be 80, 90 years old. Since we've been home showing up to court, we've got 25 individuals free and part of this community that's doing the work so that those newly emptied beds in prison don't get filled with our children.
Hmm.
And I'm done, period. I don't know what time it is. I know we only had a few minutes and I was running late. So
Yeah, we're almost done. Thank you for that. That is awesome. The community you spoke about that you're building a tribe. Can you is that man, I just talked about is it anything like a co-op? Can you talk about that a little bit?
so man, we're building community in many ways, but the Bhakti tribe, when you see Faraji Bhakti, Bhakti means devotional love in Sanskrit. And so my sister, my nephew, where I landed when I came home, they definitely Bhakti tribe. Like it's not, it's more about the foundational principle of love and how do we synergize that and become self-sufficient. I don't want to do that in America. So right now, while we're still being chomped by the capitalistic cannibalism of constructs of America, we're going to put this money together, get these assets for buying houses and Airbnb in them and all that stuff. We're trying to get the bleep out of America. Panama, Ghana, sugarcane, hemp, and bamboo, and start working those because those things can transfer into a lot of different things like hemp creek and shoes and clothes and use that, invest in that. Everybody's not going to want to do that, but that's what we're going to have to do to be self-sufficient. And once self-sufficiency comes, then we can start. You can go to the studio, we can build a studio, we can build the drums, we can build the paint room and the yoga studio, but we have to become self-sufficient. And in order to do that, you have to have your main product, and then you have to have an agriculturalist, an engineer, and someone that can, the carpenter and framer, somebody that can build. You have those three things, you can work from there.
Yeah.
So that's my personal goal right now. My selfless service is to bring yoga and to bring liberation to the communities that I've harmed in my past, that I have grandchildren growing up in. And as there's multiple people that can hold that, then I can lead.
Thank you so much, Faraji, for coming on. I really wanted to hear one of your poems, but we are out of time. I look forward to speaking with you. And that was